Chief of Defense Staff General Christopher Musa, who visits Sokoto State, insists military avoided mistakes. The airstrikes that killed 10 people. In Benue State, no fewer than 11 people killed by suspected herdsmen who invaded 3 communities. Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke pardons 53 convicts, including man sentenced to death for stealing fowl. In other foreign, Kenyan's police denies involvement in latest abductions targeting government critics. Good evening. This is News at 7 at West Spring Television. I am Tomilola Daniel. Moving on from military season, the National Assembly Service Commission has approved the appointment of Aminu Yero as a deputy clerk to the National Assembly. The commission approved Yero's appointment during an emergency meeting of the commission held today. We apologize for that break. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, on Thursday insisted that the military avoided mistakes in the airstrikes that killed 10 people. On Christmas Day, a fighter jet bombed 2 communities in the Salam local government area of the state, killing at least 10 people and injuring several others. A day after the incident, the CDS visited the northwestern state and addressed journalists at the Ginginya Cantonment, Sokoto. It said that investigation would be launched into the matter. The CDS called on residents not to harbor criminals in the communities and admonished media practitioners not to be used as a tool for promoting bandits. General Musa stated that regardless of the airstrikes, the military would continue with its operations and will not relent in fighting criminal elements. He also used the opportunity of his visit to have Christmas lunch with the troops of Operation Fansam Yama in an operation aimed at ridding the state of bandits. In the meantime, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has condemned Wednesday's airstrike in Sokoto State, which claimed about 10 lives, while the Sokoto State government said that the airstrike conducted by the military killed innocent villagers. The military has insisted that the strike targeted members of the Lakurawa terrorist group. Reacting to the incident in a post on his X handle on Thursday, Atiku said the devastating airstrike was an outrage that must be condemned in the strongest terms. He wondered if any lesson was learned from the Tundu Biri airstrike that killed over 80 civilians in December last year. While acknowledging the legitimacy of targeting terrorists, the former vice president said the strikes must be carried out with unmatched precision and based on irrefutable intelligence. Sokoto State Governor Ahmad Aliyu earlier visited the 2 communities and donated 20 million naira to support the families of those affected by the incident. In Benue State, no fewer than 11 people were reportedly killed on Wednesday when suspected X-men invaded the 3 communities in Mon District, Kwande local government area of the state. The invaders were reported to have stormed the communities when residents were celebrating the Christmas season. The President General of the Tiv Socio-Cultural Group, Herobi Iyag, said people were celebrating Christmas when the herdsmen invaded the communities and attacked the people. He said some council wards in the local government, particularly Mon Council Ward, had long been sacked by the herdsmen. He called on Governor Ian Setalier and President Bola Tinubu to beef up security in the state. Staying with security, the Olowu of Owu Kuta in Osun State, Oba Ahmed Oyelude Makama, has hailed the security chiefs and the intelligence community of the progress made in addressing insecurity across the nation. Speaking in an interview with WSTV News, the monarch said the country has become safer as a result of the commitment of government and security agencies. Oba Oyelude, however, urged the federal government to ensure adequate funding of security agencies to enable them achieve better results. He also advised non-government organizations working to be patriotic to the country.
I want to give kudos to our security handlers, the surface chiefs, various commanders, the paramilitary chiefs, DSSS, the intelligence community entirely. They've been up and doing. And the result is what you are seeing. The result is what you are seeing. Across the 6 geopolitical zone, the security situation has reduced drastically. If you look at the metrics, it has come down drastically. Even within our locality, look at our state. It's hardly you heard of armed robbery, bank robbery, this and this, kidnap. Everything has reduced drastically. So kudos to those who are behind it. Both officers and men of the armed forces, the paramilitary, the intelligence community. Kudos to them. They should not rest on their horse. And to the government, they should be adequately funded. They should be adequately funded to sustain this tempo. And to the NGOs, I urge them to be patriotic enough. Most of the NGOs are agents of foreign countries because they derive their funding from various foundations and various embassies. And they have to prove. Stop sharing your local intelligence to foreign elements. You don't have any other place than Nigeria. If you look at most of the NGOs, all 99% of their fundings comes from foreign donors. And those funding doesn't come free. It doesn't come free. It is trade by barter. They give credible information or intelligence about their country, and they give money in turn. They should remain patriotic.
Nigeria experienced multiple security incidents, including a landmine explosion in Borno State that killed 7 people, and the abduction of 50 people in Zamfara State. This event, alongside several kidnap attempts across the nation, including attacks by Boko Haram, ISWAP, and the emergence of a new terrorist group, Lakurawa, heightened the security situation in 2024. In this report, WSTV News gives an overview of the state of security in the nation through the year and solutions as provided by experts.
Nigeria in 2024 is confronted by multiple security challenges, notably in the northern part of the country, alongside long-running violence between herders and farming communities spreading from the central belt southward, not to mention the separatist Biafra agitation in the southeast. Violence, particularly by the Boko Haram insurgency, has displaced over 3 million people over the past 8 years, creating a massive humanitarian crisis and prompting the rise of civilian vigilante self-defense groups that pose new policy dilemmas and possible security risks. Nigeria's security situation is complex, marked by the involvement of different state and non-state actors in conflicts and human rights violations. Other several major insecurity drivers include attacks by self-proclaimed Islamist groups, criminal and cult-related violence, banditry, and kidnappings, which have contributed to the country's instability. What are the factors contributing to insecurity in Nigeria? Security expert Dr. Chuks Maha has this to say.
Well, there are many factors involved. You can look at it political, economical, and personal. Having said this, what has created the upsurge in this criminal element, which has now become a menace to us here in Nigeria? It's very disturbing to a few of us in particular, very scary to almost everybody, irrespective of who you are in society, because anybody can be a victim of this crime. First and foremost, our borders are porous, locally and internationally. You could move from one hamlet, one state to another, one local government to another, one state to another, and from this country, outside the country to a neighboring sister nation without you being detected. That's the first thing. Secondly, I want to say here, without any reservation or anything of that sort, that this crime has little to no investments. You don't need to invest anything. You don't need to be smart. You don't need to have any particular skill. Anybody can go into this business of kidnapping. However, the market of kidnapping is so wide because when you take off the population of Nigeria of over 200 million persons here, knowing fully well that no matter how bad they say in Nigeria, in pidgin English, bad people, bad rich, at least 50,000 will come out for each victim that is being kidnapped. So when you multiply that, an aggregate of, let's say, 10, 15, 20 persons per day, per week, you can see that that salary, you can never get it anywhere in the country. So these are one of the major reasons why this crime goes on.
Data from the Armed Conflict Location and Event Data Project shows that there were 57,279 fatalities from security-related incidents between 29th of May 2015, when former President Muhammadu Buhari assumed office, and 18th of May 2023, just before Bola Tinubu took over office. Apparently, President Tinubu inherited a country riddled with growing insecurity, but reading the mood in the country well, the new president promised to make security a top priority of his administration. You will recall in his inaugural speech, Tinubu promised, among other things, to provide security personnel with better training, equipment, and salary. So, did Nigeria's security improve in 2024? The European Union Agency for Asylum, in its Country of Origin Information Report on Nigeria, states that Nigerians lodged 21,000 applications for international protection in the EU between January 2023 and March 2024. Monthly levels fluctuated between 1,100 and 1,700. The record high 1,700 applications was recorded in March 2024, the highest since May 2022. According to data sourced and analyzed by the International Center for Investigative Reporting, at least 2,336 people were killed in various violent attacks within the first quarter of 2024. According to a report of the United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, the number of people abducted in 2024 rose to an estimated 7,400 people, stating that the Northwest region has been worst hit by far, with nearly two-thirds the number of victims as the other regions combined. Another report with a focus on food security by the Famine Early Warning Systems Network says increased level of insecurity in northern Nigeria over 2024 is marked by banditry, attacks, and kidnappings, which continue to forcibly displace local populations. Also, the Food and Agriculture Organization and its partners during the year stated that over 31.8 million Nigerians are suffering from acute food insecurity compounded with malnutrition among women and children. However, the Minister of Interior, Dr. Olubunmi Tuji-Ojo, believes otherwise. The minister said that the security situation in the country has improved in the last 9 months of 2024, stating that the federal government has put in efforts to stem the tide of insecurity, including surveillance of Nigeria land borders.
I will tell you, the command and control that we built for the airports and the PNIPR, it's for border security in terms of our airspace, in terms of our airports. That had been done. Number two, in terms of our land border, I wouldn't want to divulge too much because of security considerations, but I'll tell you this. Today, there's surveillance in a lot of our border. We have not yet covered everything. Of course, I tell people, Nigeria came together as one, was amalgamated in 1914. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu did not become president in 1914. He became president in 2023. So nobody expects him to solve the problem of 109 years in 1 year. But in a reasonable space, I will tell you, we have more than half of our border points now, border posts are automated. There is real-time communication, there is visuals, there is a lot of processes going in terms of surveillance. So you will see the border space today. It's not what it used to be. There is real-time communication. Just as I said, this is 2024. This is not 1984. So you cannot secure your border without technology.
While Nigeria faces security challenges on several fronts, including cyber attacks that culminated in huge losses, sensitive data exposure, and disruption of services of many organizations, experts have suggested plausible solutions to the problem of insecurity in the country. Security expert Dr. Chuks Maha, who reiterated that security is not the responsibility of the government alone, urged Nigerians to be self-aware and observant of their milieu.
First and foremost, as Nigerians or inhabitants of this country, we make ourselves so subject to this crime. We are not mindful of our environments. We just walk along carelessly, go on the road carelessly. Most times we travel for no real reasons. Most travels can be avoided. You can use the phone instead of you traveling. Must you travel? And if you are to travel, how do you go about traveling? What kind of vehicle, what mode of travel are you going by with? And we should weigh these options in terms of security. And this will help to minimize. Where are you going to? Are you going to the countryside? That's one aspect. The second aspect, again, as individuals, some of us carry so many things on us that expose our financial wealth. You're traveling away in a suit while traveling by public transport. Your perfume you're wearing is so strong, so loud, that sets you aside from others. Your wristwatch, the kind of phone you're carrying. And sometimes we even go into argumentative discussions, telling people, oh, I am this, I am this, I am that, while inside the public transport. Not knowing that there could be a fellow passenger inside the vehicle who could be an informant to kidnappers, and is just texting and passing information that so-and-so bus has so-and-so person inside, dressed so-and-so, the color of the apparel, that, this, that, and that, picking is good meat. That is one.
For Nigeria to experience improved security come 2025, security agencies must be better coordinated along with performance monitoring and accountability. It is also vital to address the socio-economic factors that contribute to insecurity. The country needs job creation, poverty alleviation, and inclusive economic growth, among other solutions. Daniel Odeyemi, Western Spring Television News.
Moving on, the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Abdullahi Ganduje, has appealed to Nigerians to be patient with the administration of President Bola Tinubu for the economic reforms he has embarked upon, which have brought discomfort to many. Ganduje said this in a statement by his Chief Press Secretary, Edwin Lofu, on the occasion of this year's Christmas celebration. While calling for more patience in his message, however, the former Kano State Governor noted the result of President Tinubu's reforms are already beginning to be seen. He assured that by next year's Christmas, the economy would have stabilized better, noting that the government's efforts in securing the country is yielding results as cases of banditry and kidnapping have significantly reduced. The APC national chairman urged all Nigerians to use this festive period to pray for the continued peace, stability, and prosperity of the country, as well as for the success of our leaders at all levels of government. He called on all Nigerians, irrespective of faith or background, to embrace the spirit of togetherness and mutual respect, which are essential for national cohesion. Here in Osun State, a former commissioner for works, Remi Omowaye, says despite the huge allocations that has accrued to the state to the past 2 years, the Governor Ademola Adeleke-led government has little or no development to show for it. Mr. Omowaye, who is Executive Director, Project Implementation of the Federal Housing Authority, spoke in an interview with WSTV News. He also denied allegations that the former Governor Adegboyega Oyetola-led administration mismanaged the $20 million health grant meant for the revitalization of primary health care centers in the state, while stating that the past administration remodeled 332 PHCS. Mr. Omowaye accused the Adeleke-led government of only repainting the health centers. Mr. Omowaye also stated that the reforms instituted by President Tinubu are beginning to yield results, as he alluded to the drop in fuel prices, increase in foreign reserves, and other developments.
With the huge resources the governor is getting, what has he shown for it? How many kilometers of road has he done? Our junction to Ejigbo alone is over 20 kilometers. Put together all what he claimed he has done and put it side by side with what we did, you will see that there's a clear difference. I saw them going to repaint primary care centers that we remodeled. We did not paint, we redesigned. We got our data right because we had, at that time, the maternal mortality rate was quite high. when we came in, and we needed to bring it down. We needed to expand our primary care centers. So we redesigned most of our primary care centers. They came and they started painting it. They repainted it. There are two different things. There's an adage in Yoruba that says, if you want to lie, you say, your witness is in heaven. I will give you pictorial evidence. This is not what I read. I was one that supervises directly. I was one that did the design directly. So I can tell you this was what we did here and here. And we did all our design in conformity to the World Health Organization standard. Now, get the list of what they've done. You will discover they just repainted what we redesigned. There are a lot of those things that you now see them saying that we did this. They just painted. We did redesigning, and we ensured that we provided basic things that we needed to put there. Toilet facility, water facility, and basic equipment according to the standard of World Health Organization. And after we carried out all this, we saw a clear difference in our health indices. It became better. Now, this is a government that spent in 2 years 38 billion naira to eat in the governor's office. My brother, we fix Olaya, we construct Olaya for 2.7 billion. If the total government, in spite of this inflation, had gotten that, it would have turned around the state. So we can say there's inflation, things are gone up. But my brother, what is coming to the state now is huge. And they cannot justify it with what is on ground. The only thing he's doing is making projects at the flyovers that are poorly designed. Poorly designed.
In the meantime, Chairman of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in Osun State, Honorable Sunday Bisi, says Governor Ademola Adeleke has had an impact on almost all the sectors of the state, including infrastructure, health, education, and agriculture. While appreciating the people of the state for supporting the governor, he says the government will not relent in delivering on the promise of ensuring good governance. Speaking in an interview with WSTV News, Honorable Bisi stated that Osun residents are happy with the Adeleke-led government as state funds are utilized for Osun people. Ahead of the 2026 elections, he said the opposition APC in the state should not attempt to upturn the will of the people who he believes are solidly behind Governor Adeleke. Honorable Bisi also said threats of the use of federal might by some APC chieftains are mere daydreams, as only the people will decide the outcome of the 2026 governorship poll.
If you look at Osun State, generally now, you will see that people are happy with us. You cannot just take, money and be throwing money around. What you need to do is just, when you take care of the workers, the workers will go back to the community, to the society, and give back to them. That is exactly, so you can see the economy of Osun is very robust now. Our money is no longer flying away to Lagos as it was before when the APC government was in power. They brought aliens, they brought foreigners to Osun State who would come on Tuesday and leave Osun State on Thursday, taking our money back to Lagos. It's not like that again. You are in Ilesha now today, in my own house. You understand? So I want to tell you that this Honorable Commissioner is there, and many political officers that they are here celebrating with us. All of us are resident, we are domiciled in Osun State. So Osun money is with Osun people here. You understand? So our people are benefiting, from this thing. That's the way to give back, to the society. People will go to the market, they will buy things from the market, they will buy clothes from the market, they will buy food from the market, unlike when they were there. You understand? So when we are saying building bridges, yes, we have to develop infrastructure. At the same time, this thing, all the people working there, they are from Osun State. The contractor is from Osun State. Unlike those people, when they brought virtually everybody working in Osun from Lagos.
And immediately, I mean, the government, their government ended. They went back to Lagos. You cannot see them again now. So it is wrong to say that we are only doing that. We have neglected the infrastructure. I mean, we have neglected, the people, or what we call stomach infrastructure. Not like that. Our people are really enjoying. Go to Osogbo, see the nightlife in Osogbo. It's bubbling again. You see people at various areas doing business. You understand things. So it's not correct to say that. Yeah.
Elsewhere, the Kano State chapter of the All Progressives Congress, APC, dismissed claims by former Kano State Governor, Senator Rabiu Kwankwaso, that he would significantly reduce the APC's votes in the next state during the 2027 elections. In a statement on Thursday, the state APC chairman, Abdullahi Abbas, described Kwankwaso's assertion as laughable and called on him to focus on reclaiming his membership in the new Nigeria People's Party, from which he was reportedly ousted. Abbas branded Kwankwaso as a political refugee, accusing him of latching in onto the state governor, Abba Yusuf, in a desperate bid to remain relevant in Nigerian politics. The APC chairman alleged that the NNPP's performance in the 2023 elections was largely due to manipulated vote, vowing that such tactics would not be tolerated in future elections. The APC statement was a response to Kwankwaso's remarks during a meeting with stakeholders from San Yawa local government area, the residents in Kano State. Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke has exercised prerogative of mercy towards 53 convicts. Among them is one Segun Olowokere, who was convicted for armed robbery. Olowokere's case attracted the attention of the governor after a story surfaced where his mother begged the state government to pardon her only child. There have been different narratives on the nature of the crime Olowokere committed, with reports from some quarters saying he was arrested and convicted for stealing fowls. The governor said the decision was in line with the recommendations of the State Advisory Council on prerogative of mercy. According to a statement by the spokesperson to the governor, Olawale Rashid, a letter of communication, which dated December 24, 2024, has been sent by the state government and received and acknowledged by the relevant prison authorities. In the meantime, the leadership of the Osun State Judiciary has defended and justified the death by hanging sentence passed on a young man, Segun Olowokere, who was convicted for robbing a fowl while being armed. A governor of the state, Ademola Adeleke, had waded into the matter after about 10 years that the judgment was handed down by one of the High Court judges in the state and granted the convict pardon. Governor Adeleke was moved to invoke his constitutional prerogative of mercy following outcry by his parent, who claimed that the sentence was a miscarriage of justice and that their son was innocent of the crime of armed robbery of fowls slammed against him and one other person. Reacting to the backlash and controversies that the sentence had generated, the Osun State Judiciary frowned against what it termed as distortion of fact from members of the public and the denigration of the trial judge, retired Justice Olajide Falola. A statement signed by the Chief Registrar of the State Judiciary, F.I. Omishade, justified the death penalty, saying the court acted in accordance with the Constitution that spells out death sentence for convicted armed robbers. The Chief Registrar posited that Segun was 19 years old, as against 17 years of age that was reported, adding that his co-convict, Morakinyo Sunday, was aged 18. In Lagos State, the State Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA, says a fire outbreak at the Federal Institute of Industrial Research office in Oshodi, Lagos, has been successfully extinguished. A statement by LASEMA Permanent Secretary Olufemi Damilola Oke Osonyitolu said damping down as well as search and rescue operation had been concluded. Oke Osonyitolu noted that preliminary investigations conducted by the agency's response teams revealed the immediate cause of the incident to be overheating from the generator engine. According to LASEMA Permanent Secretary, there was no loss of life due to the incident and no injuries were sustained. However, about 80% of the generator house was razed by fire. He added that quick intervention of the agency's response team contained the inferno from spreading to adjoining buildings within the facility. You're watching News at 7 on West Spring Television. Still to come.